there, SAO survivors! It's been a while since Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream got released. Some of you have conquered the hardest challenges the game has to offer, while some of you are having fun at your own pace trying out different characters. Whether you have proven yourself to be a veteran or just a casual enjoyer of the game, here are some top tips from myself as well as the rest of the community to help you excel at the game or improve your progress to access higher tier challenges. This first one comes for those who are still in the process of leveling up. Are you wondering why your damage is not up to par compared to others in your lobby, despite having a character leveled up decently enough for their base stat upgrades? It may just be that epic or legendary item you've been holding on to for a tad bit too long just because they are looking colorful. I hate inventory clutter myself, so I immediately dismantle everything, but please don't be like me. That common or uncommon weapon that dropped at your current level of 50 may not be looking all that shiny to you, but don't cast it away just because it lacks a cool color on its thumbnail. Compared to the attack boosts you have on the level 20 weapon that are 4-5%, you're holding on to it just because it's shining orange. This level 50 peasant version will easily outperform in every viable measure via its base stats alone. Throughout your leveling journey, don't get attached to your epic or legendary items. They will hold you back greatly if not upgraded from. This goes for accessories as well, all the more so for characters with low HP values. Up until about player rank 90, just don't bother hoarding higher rarity items and just focus on the higher rank items for their maximum efficiency. Additionally, don't fear enhancing your weapons a little bit. The earlier tiers of enhancements are often very cheap and can give you a very decent stat boost. Next one is both for newcomers as well as supposed veterans who have never realized so far. Did you know some characters feature alternate dodge abilities? If you hold your dodge button with Shilika, for example, she'll hold on to Pina for a long and swift dash, an incredible mobility option that is particularly useful in the narrow dungeon corridors where flight is not the most convenient option. Len has a similar functionality where her teleport dash distance depends on the length of your button hold. It's also one of the fastest mobility options in the game, particularly great on a character that has a relatively low running speed. Len, for some reason. Hey, Bandai, can you look into the normal running speed of Len? She feels uncharacteristically slow. But it's not just holding the button down that can give you an alternate version. Eiji, for example, has a special ability that allows him to chain two back-to-back dodges together acrobatically, eliminating the cooldown time in between separate dodges, which can make the difference between survival or shattering into polygons in tough situations. This next top tip comes for all of you sitting in front of your computers or those with mobile devices in your hands. Much like you need safety on the battlefields of the Seed Nexus, you need safety on the internet as well, which is why this video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. A VPN, virtual private network, is basically a corridor crystal, so to say, on the internet, taking you from the town of beginnings to the boss room of the floor safely without any monster or PKer being able to meddle with you on the way, shielding you from potential attacks. And now, going further, imagine that boss has a loot pool with a lot more items in it. Yes, it can do that too. Using Surfshark VPN, you can access your favorite streaming platforms from different regions to see a much wider catalog featuring series that may just be blocked in your original location. You're all anime fans, you know the struggle. You wanna watch Frieren or Oshinoko. Surprise, surprise, they are actually on Netflix, you just need to be in Japan for it. I know, for example, Turkish drama series are incredibly popular around the Mediterranean and Latin America for reasons I, as a Turkish person, cannot comprehend myself. But hey, just switch over to Turkey. Oh, I guess it's Turkey now, and enjoy our 3-hour-long episodes of mind-numbing dramas. Surfshark VPN has over 3,000 servers in 100 countries. Imagine the possibilities and everything that you will have access to. They allow you to install and use on an unlimited number of devices, they don't keep logs of your activity, and offer 24/7 support if you need any. And they have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's literally no reason to not give it a try using the special offer through my link. Go to surfshark.com/Gamerturk to get a special offer including 4 additional months for free to your plan, or just click the link in the description or the pinned comment, or just scan this QR code. Very easy. Thank you very much to Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video. Returning back to Fractured Daydream, this tip is for those who do think charge movements put you in a bit too much of a danger in the middle of combat. Did you know if you jump and then activate a charge move in the air, you will immediately receive the benefits of a tier 1 charge without having to wait and unleash the skill just fine? And if you don't have a problem with waiting, you can stack this with the epic perk on your weapons for charge skills specifically to get a quicker than usual charge in the air to higher ranks. On the topic of charge moves, yes, they put you at an added danger if you're surrounded by enemies, but charge moves are particularly useful against larger enemies and mini-bosses, as a tier 2 or above charge is guaranteed to stagger these types of enemies, particularly useful against those pesky golden chest protecting dragons in the ordinal scale map that is accompanied by 2 axe rhinos. This next one comes for the veterans who are tired of the grind feeling to samey running the same content over and over at max level for additional loot, but hey, if you're tired running the same dungeon back to back as a level 40 and want some variety, you may want to listen to this too. Just stop doing that. Stop running the same dungeon over and over. Just stay idle in your lobby screen for a minute or two and surely an aid request will pop up with a system chime. This is an automated matchmaking system in the game where it basically sends out these requests for low population lobbies, often for instances that are already underway. By joining, you'll essentially get a quicker completion, help other players, and be rewarded for it. The game will even give you XP when you load in to catch up with others, and you'll also receive rewards at the end of the game that match your player level, regardless if you got filled into a tier 1 Ilfang co-op mission or a level 70 Crimson Gleam. It's literally a win-win-win scenario. You win, others win, the servers win, we all win as a community, so just wait for that sweet chime if the grind has been feeling a bit monotone lately. Okay, this one is a more advanced tip, but really make sure to read up on your character's skills and experiment with them a bit. Most characters have incredibly effective combos given the situation that will give you a massive edge in combat and instill fear in your enemies. Similarly, your character may have very specific synergies that you may not know about that suits their playstyles. Earlier, I talked about charge attacks being quite dangerous if you're surrounded due to their time commitment, so Strea, who exclusively has charge attacks as skills, also has a special native ability that allows her to dodge out of a charge move and not suffer any cooldown. The next one, this one comes at you all PogChamps rushing into the Storm Griffin boss under-leveled and then realizing the boss is taking a lot longer than it should, which happens way too often to be a coincidence. First off, skipping content is not always the fastest method to clear quests. If you made it to Storm Griffin without even unlocking your ultimate, you did something horribly wrong along the way. Don't do that again. And secondly, when you enter the Storm Griffin boss room, for the love of God, especially rangers and flight characters, look up and destroy the lightning orb. 90% of the time, it's not Storm Griffin taking players out, it's this shithole that is spamming lightning strikes on all players every 10 seconds. Take the 2 seconds to take that one out. Just do it. Here's an obvious tip that is clearly not as obvious as it should be. Just pick a character you enjoy playing as or enjoy the playstyle of. Give all the characters a solid try to grasp their basic combat loops. One co-op dungeon or your general experience in the story mode should just be fine enough. However, completely disregard your experience of them regarding their damage output, or rather, the lack of any damage in this case compared to your main character. As you rank characters up, you see their base stats getting increased, and while these increases may seem rather small, they are in fact quite huge. What the game tells you are the base stats, which is then increased with the multiplier on your weapon and accessories, which goes up to about 3-fold your base stats, and then these are further increased as you level up in a map. As a result, when you try a Heathcliff for the first time, you may be getting lackluster damage with a slow tank speed to boot, but you'll be surprised when you start getting MVPs when you get them to higher ranks as a character. This applies to pretty much every single character that's available in the game. Don't be fooled by them initially feeling weak when you play. Starting around rank 20, they'll start feeling much more powerful, let alone higher endgame ranks. Yes, that pesky get 50 plus combo with a ranger character that shows up in your daily, ruining your pass XP farm because none of your ranger characters actually reload fast enough to maintain a combo above 6 hits reliably. The thing is, ranged attacks have a different combo timer multiplier than melee attacks in the game. However, you can still build up a combo with these characters by using their heavy attacks, which are their usually only melee moves. This will give you enough time to reload and continue shooting without losing your combo as a ranger character. Okay, this one is for all players. Most of you have already realized that things like a healing spell from Lifa or Shirika only affects your own party and not the other 4 that are in the same map, even if they're in the nearby vicinity. This may lead you to believe none of your supportive abilities will be helpful for the other players in the map, but you would be wrong. More often than not, a skill that actively casts a special area on the field can be benefited from everyone in that map. The most obvious example is Fukajiro's healing bullet, of course, that casts the huge circular globular healing field, but things like Strea's HP drain circle or Lisbeth's hammer with the attack up effect also grant benefits to the other players. So if you see such an area effect being cast on the field, feel free to run into it and get the benefit. Alright, this one is particularly useful for those playing raid bosses, but it can be useful in co-op quests as well, especially in the tower activation phases. Awakening XP, so your instance XP drops, they require kill participation from at least one person in your party. So when you start a raid party, look at which portal your teammates are going, right or left, and go for the opposite side. Ideally, you'll be spreading 2 to the left and 2 to the right to tag as many enemies and portals as possible, which will give you a massive advantage, especially in the early phases. Keep it up in the next phases as well, and you'll ride a huge wave into that MVP status. Similarly, in the tower phase in co-op missions, it's fine to let go of the console for a second. Just turn around, land a hit or 2 on that dirty scissor and return to your console. They do drop good XP, so don't let them go to waste. Alright, speedrunners, with a rocket stuck up your butt, it's really time to chill. If you see 2-3 players heading towards a gold chest protected by a guardian, that's your cue to collapse on the guardian. It's an easy quick kill for a proper team, whereas it can take agonizingly long if people are not helping properly for an encounter that will easily give you 2 to 3 levels alongside a very high likelihood of an epic mod. Especially some of these are straight next to the main path you're taking anyways, with no excuses to not turn your head. The one with the Treant in Ilfang and the dragon in Storm Griffin, just collapse on them as a team properly and defeat them in 30 seconds, walk away 2-3 levels higher if not more in the case of the dragon specifically. Last but not least, this is an emergency measure for those playing at off hours in your own region and not being able to find filled lobbies reliably. There is an option to change your matchmaking server in the network settings of the game. This will increase your ping, of course, thus your gameplay enjoyment may be negatively affected, but it can allow you to find fuller lobbies. Basically, think of the time zones and switch to the server that has the high likelihood of playing, that mainly being afternoon hours in your target region. For example, if it's midday for you in Europe, that means Asian servers are bound to be full as it's afternoon/nighttime for them, but make sure to return to your original server during normal hours in order to maintain a healthy connection and player pool. That's all the tips and tricks I have for you now. If you have more, write them down in the comments. I included a lot of your tips as well from my Twitter and Facebook, so if there's enough, I may just do a part 2 with more. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, stay cool.